We meet again.
I know, I'm in the same spot.
Me too. Me too. It's all good.
Yeah.
And you got your...
I do. I look yellow again. It's because I don't have any, they're painting our buildings.
Yeah.
So my windows are covered.
Oh.
Maybe if I turn on these other lights, it won't look quite so yellow.
That's funny.
And the room in here is sort of that minty green look. So whatever. So
yeah, it looks yellow.
not always your best for video.
That's all right. It's fine for us. We know. My lighting's never perfect either. My big window in front of me, there's no sun yet. It's in the wrong side of the house. So, not the wrong side. It's on the south side, so it's not quite illuminated. It's all right. I'm imperfect action.
Yeah.
Right.
So you used to work at Baycare. Can we talk about that? I know you're recording now.
It's all right. I think people can watch. Yes, I did. I got your email about your son. So he and I missed each other by a couple of years. So I was the marketing. Well, I started there in public relations, but I moved to marketing in 2004. Mm-hmm. And I was there till 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Susan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Good, good, good. Are you ready? We're glad you came, Susan.
Yeah. I've been wanting to. 8 o'clock on Friday's not always easy.
Yeah, it's not. And I want you to know I'm going to be mailing you something, Miss Susan. Okay. You get your very own name badge.
I just got mine.
So I will be getting that to you. I'll mail it this weekend for people in Florida, but you'll get it.
If I'm down in Tampa in November, I can wear it to the meeting that I'm sure you all will be having while I'm there.
Ah, very cool. Then you can have it. You'd be like, why is Jill Celeste sending me mail? That's why. It's a name badge. We're glad you're here. Tammy's our speaker, so everybody say hi, Tammy.
Hi, Jill.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, it has been.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. Tammy is an hour behind us, so what a trooper.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm still in my pajamas. I was thinking, don't show the bottom half of me because I've got my robe on here.
Oh, you're
my
fine.
Central Standard Time. That's right.
And look, Susan's got her friend.
Fiona has to say hi.
Oh,
yeah, I'm hoping mine don't start in.
Fiona. I met Fiona earlier this week. We are in a, Mary Beth Decker has a UConnect class, so we're connecting with our animals, and Susan introduced us to Fiona, and she's adorbs.
She is adorbs.
Hi, Hannah.
I'll probably mute through most of the meeting though, because soon neighbors are going to start walking to work, and
that's fine.
Remind them that she lives here.
Yeah, and Mary Beth's here, so she might want to say hi to Mary Beth.
Oh, Mary Beth,
yes. Good morning, Mary Beth. Hi, Hannah. Good morning. We're glad you're here.
Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi, Margaret.
Connie Jo's not making it today. She has a personal thing going on, and nothing bad, just a personal commitment. And we know Debbie's on the Camino walking again after having a trouble with her heel. She's back at it, so we'll send her good juju for her walk. And let's see, I'm waiting for one of the Judys. Let's see, it's at the end of the month. Oh wait, so Judy Kane won't be here, but she has another networking meeting the last Friday of the month. So we'll go ahead and get started. And if anybody joins us, we'll just welcome them right in. And so welcome this morning to Virtual Networkers, the 8 a.m. Friday group. We are so glad to see you here. So I'm glad to see Susan here, who's from the other Virtual Networkers group. And it's funny, I've only met Susan online, and then this week I've seen her all week, which is awesome.
Get rid of me.
I love it. So we'll go ahead and get started with our elevator speeches, and then we'll move into Tammy's presentation. And then after that, we will do our announcements. So hang tight, it's a quick hour. So we'll get started with elevator speeches. And according to my little magical grid, the first person will be Margaret.
Good morning. I'm Margaret Martin. I help people change their mindset so they can transform their life. I help them take a look at their negative self-talk, transform that into empowering statements that they can believe and continue to embrace that and be the person they're really meant to be. I do all of that work as a coach, a life coach, a career coach. Those people in career transition need a lot of encouragement because it's when you've been laid off, it's pretty challenging.
Yeah.
So I do that, helping them, as well as an author of The Chatter That Matters, Your Words Are Your Power.
Oh,
I live in Dunedin, Florida, not far from Jill, and it's in the Tampa Bay area in a small town.
A delightful time.
It is
Well,
a delightful town.
Just a reminder, as we do these, feel free to go into the chat box to put your name and email address. This is how you'll get the recording as well as the copy of the chat box for today. So please do that. It's how we take attendance. And now we'll move on to Tammy. Tammy, I know you're going to talk, but if you want to do your elevator speech.
Yeah, my elevator speech. Let's see. I have to read it because it's new.
That's all right.
So I'm going to read off my little cue card here. My name is Tammy Coleman, and the company is Elemi, spelled E-L-E-M-I. A lot of people think that's my name, so they get confused. But I'm in McKinney, Texas, originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. So this is all new for me, being down in Central Standard Time. But yeah, my my background is in health and wellness. But my new genre is spiritual coaching for purposeful living. And I'm helping people with healthier minds, body, spirit, lifestyles, relationships, finances, because your health matters to your maker. And I help you cleanse, balance, and build you into alignment with the purpose for your life. Your pets matter to me also. I help your furry friends get healthy and happy with a beautiful hairstyle that matches with them, by coming to your home for a happy grooming experience. You need me, I need you. Remember, your health and your pet's health matters to your maker.
I love that. Good job, Tammy.
Thanks.
Yay.
I finally got it.
You got it. Good girl.
Took me a few years.
Just so you know, I coached Tammy a couple years ago, and she was just a dog groomer.
I know you like this.
And I'm like, you're so much more than a dog groomer. Not that there's anything wrong with dog grooming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Susan, you're next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Susan Rose. My company is Gutsy Happiness, and I focus on working with burnt-out professional women who want to figure out, they somehow have gotten lost along the way, and they want to figure out how to merge their creativity and their altruistic desires to find a more purposeful life, whether that means a new career or whether that means just getting back in touch with whatever brings them joy in life. So so life coaching, happiness coaching, and making the world a better place, one woman at a time.
And where do you live? Remind me again, Susan.
I'm in Northern Virginia in Reston.
Okay. Oh, you're not too far from Mary Beth. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Mary Beth and I are probably about an hour away from each other in traffic.
Yeah, Virginia.
20 miles.
On a good day, on a good month,
When
yeah.
the crow flies, it'd be 20 minutes, but yeah.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of being far away, our Hannah's here. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning. I'm Hanne Brøter. I'm a graphic designer and visual brand manager, and I live in Sweden. I'm Norwegian originally. I work with graphic design and visual branding, and that means I make logos and websites and business cards and newsletters and every kind of visual touchpoint with visual consistency. And by that, I help entrepreneurs and business owners visualize their unique greatness and attract their ideal clients.
Yay! You did a good job on that. It's rolling off your tongue now. Awesome. Good job. Mary Beth.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I am on, right?
Yes, you can hear you.
Because I still have that little thing that says, you're muted. Why are you talking? So I'm Mary Beth Decker with sacredgrowth.com. I have the ability to tune in to your animals and let you have a two-way conversation with them. I was at a high-level networking thing last night with my son, and I have to diverse a little bit. I wish I was with you, Jill, because I told somebody what I do, and her eyes rolled back. Animal communicator. How cute! Like that's
Oh.
interesting. So, but yes, thank you. It's like, yeah, I guess that's cute. My latest story was a lady called me whose little dog had collapsed in the morning, and he was really cute, of course. So he's okay, but I was actually doing a reading for him while she was driving to the vet. And she said the information I gave was useful, and it was the first time he hadn't spent his whole time growling when he was at the veterinarian. So, because we did some healing, kind of calming him down, like everything's going to be fine. So, I do all kinds of stuff like that. Thank you.
Oh, well, that's a great story. I'm glad the animal's okay too. The
Yes.
cute. You are cute, Mary Beth. I mean, I'll go last. I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the chapter president for this virtual networkers group. I'm also the founder of the Celestial Circle, which is a monthly membership group for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. We gather to learn marketing and to improve our mindset so that we are the directors of marketing for our business. You can learn more at thecelestialcircle.com. I have a couple members in here with me today. And so proud of all their successes as we finish off the 21-day marketing challenge, and we're going to move into the daily abundance challenge, which you may think has nothing to do with marketing, but it does. So you feel abundant, you market better. It's amazing how that works. So we're so glad that you're here, and we're going to move into Tammy's presentation. Tammy, are you just talking today, or you don't have slides, right?
No, I don't have any slides.
Okay, cool. Let me do your bio real quick, and then I'll turn it over to you. So Tammy sent me a very long bio, so I'm going to just abbreviate it if that's okay, Tammy. It's really awesome, though. So Tammy Coleman is the mother of 3 grown children, Jimmy, Kyle, and Chelsea. She was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, and as she mentioned, she now lives in Texas with her fur babies, which we always have to mention, Blanca, Lulu, and Tinkerbell. I love it. She graduated from DePaul University with a bachelor's in economics. She started her business with health and fitness, and then she moved into mobile grooming services, and then she moved into health coaching and nutritionist and body work. She's a renaissance woman for sure. And now she's a spiritual coach for Purposeful Living. She bases her foundation on God's word and shares that with others as they seek him. And I hope Tammy talks about her advocacy. She's doing advocacy work for women in domestic abuse situations. I don't want to take away too much of your thunder there. So Tammy, we're so glad that you're here, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me, Jill. It's been a while, and was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen and talked to Jill for, a couple of years now, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a journey.
Yeah, a couple of years for sure.
Very interesting journey in my life. Yeah, my main background is in health and wellness. I've been doing that for probably over 30 years. So that's really my, besides my spiritual coaching and my foundation, that's my big passion. But I feed everything into that just because that's just where I start. But yeah, so I'm also an author. I did publish finally my first book after writing it for 3 years. It got published last June of 2017. It's called Hello's My Friend, Joy Shines in All Opportunities. And that was more of a healing book. So it got everything kind of out on paper and got me kind of starting the cleansing process as far as getting grounded. So I finally got that one done. That was a difficult book to write, but a necessary book to write. So I needed to get that out of my system, and so it's out on Amazon, and you can still get that. It's available. Book number 2 is actually in editing mode right now, so I'm excited. It's If God Doesn't Live in a Box, Why Should I? And that one is kind of a 5-year journey on why I moved from Indiana to Texas, and that's going to be incorporated in that book. So I'm excited to get that thing out and rolling. So. Love writing, still love it. Got some more books in the background. So I believe that's really one of my callings also is to be an author and a writer and a speaker. So that's on my platform. So yeah, let's see, how do I start? Yeah, I'm down in Texas, McKinney, Texas, which is north of Dallas, an area that I had no clue where it was and what was happening, but I'm down here. Drove from Indiana in my small vehicle with my 3 fur babies, and it was definitely a good time. We got down here safe and sound, so yeah, we're good with that. They enjoyed the journey, and we're, I think, glad to be here. But as far as my business goes, yeah, I've gone into different levels, and right now I just feel very grounded where I'm at with everything and helping women, mainly women and their families to do what they feel is really for them, not what other people tell them to do. I try to tell them, yeah, we all have jobs and we all do things, but in the course of time, we really have to figure out what that fire feels like inside of us, and let's get that fire out and do whatever it is. And I'm finding there's a lot of people out there that are book writers and authors, and they're just not telling their story yet. And I'm like, you know what? If I can tell my story, as painful as it was, you can tell your story. So let's get your stories out there. I'm a love of storyteller. I love to hear stories, and I have a lot of stories. But my journey's been very interesting. I did start my advocacy 2015, Women Need Hope, Breaking Generational Cycles of Abuse One Step at a Time. That was formulated in 2015 as a 501c3 in Indiana. I'm actually in the process of getting that Texas as well, because there's a lot of need for that. It's an outreach still. I'm still building on that, but I know that it's coming closer into fruition to where I would like for the mission and vision to be. I help women, children, and their pets because it's about abuse. And what my mission is to keep them together during the time that they're healing. What I found over time was that, 1 in 3 women are in abusive situations. And when I say abusive, I'm not talking about domestic violence. I have to kind of gear away from that word, because that's something that I had to really learn from just discovery, that people are not just, it's not domestic violence. It's, we can abuse ourselves. And the reason I say that is because, I personally have experience in anorexia and bulimia in my past, and that's abuse, to myself. So when I recognized that, I thought, wow, abuse is big. So it's not just that, where I'm running into people who have had a lot of different issues happen, and that's something that I categorize. So, and then that leads to the children, which then leads to the animals. So it's all one connected, and I found that no one's getting help because they're all in separate places. And if you can pull them together into one unity, then they become closer to getting where they need to be. So after like many years of research, of studying this, why are people not getting healed? Why are women out there struggling and still going in this cycle? And what's happening, because 1 in 3, that's a crazy statistic, and that should not be that way. And the same with the children. They're being shuffled in and out of foster care, and foster care is getting, to a point where they can't even find enough people to help. So, what that leads to, it leads to people doing foster care just to be doing it. So the children aren't getting help, and that saddens me. That saddened me even more than anything. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we come to the animals, and that, of course, is a passion of mine as well. And it was just like, oh my gosh, now the animals are getting hit. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So after the research, I realized that there needs to be a bridge of healing. And so what I consider myself as is more of a bridge or connector. And I used to think, and this is crazy, and think, Jill, you'll appreciate that, anybody else that does marketing. I used to hate marketing. I mean, I did. Networking was a nightmare for me. I was like, when I have to go to networking, I thought, oh my God, I hate this. People just asking me all these questions and do your elevator speech. I'm like, what is that? And I didn't want to do it. I was just like, this is ridiculous. How can't you just buy my services and be done with it? And so I did. I didn't like it. I was like, But then it's funny because now I consider my a bridger and connector, and I love connecting people. Like if I hear somebody say, I need this or I want that, I'm all over it. And the same, so that kind of, you know, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually a networker. This is kind of fun, you know? And so I started making it more like, this is kind of just, you just take this person and you bring them together and they meet and then you're gone. You know, you don't have to do anything other than that. So I have to laugh about that because, you know, I can remember myself sitting at meetings because saying I didn't want to be there. I didn't like anybody at the table. It was just awful. And now it's like, you know, when I meet people, I'm like, oh yeah, I know somebody that does that. But anyway, so getting back to Women Need Hope, that's what I had to start doing, was bridging people and women, and eventually the kids, and then eventually the animals to a place of safety or where they could get some help. And so I had all these resources and I had to, you know, gather information, you know, because they would come to me and they would say, you know, I need this, where should I go? And I'd be saying, okay, you need to go over here. And so now, you know, that's kind of what I've become is, you know, people, I still have people even in Indiana, women in Indiana, that may reach out to me from time to time and say, you know, I'm in this situation. Can you direct me to where I go? So I still have those resources, and I'm gathering them as we speak in Texas to find out who are the other nonprofits that do things. I'm not recreating the wheel, then that's not happening. And just, you know, saying, hey, have you tried this, or have you gone over here? Or I had a woman the other day, just for example, that I just met randomly. It's just weird. I meet people randomly, and she was talking about, like, she thought she was going to lose her job and she was in the hospital, and I had just met a group of people that help in that area. And so I connected them, and she was like, oh, thank you for that, because they, you know, gave me this, they gave me that. And I was so grateful, you know, that I had met these people. So that's really, I mean, that's really what I do with this. And right now, but my vision has always been to create a community of where women can come. And I have and you know, I didn't want to do the PowerPoint and all that because it takes quite a bit of time to do it, but I do have a PowerPoint, and the name of the place that I would like to begin is called the Healing Hands Village, and it's a village community, and it's actually where women can live and sustainably and affordably, and tiny homes is their living space, and they can have their kids there and they can have their pets there. And then they have resources and a community center, and they can, you know, help in organic gardening and, you know, all these other different skills. And then eventually at an academy where they, you know, they can learn some certification in trades. So that's the vision. That's the vision that's still, it's getting closer and closer. And I know it's going to happen. I just do. And it's exciting to see the, you know, how it's all transformed, because, you know, I've been to other places that do similar types of things for different advocacies, and I know that it can happen. I know that it can happen. So, but it's a needed thing, and it's needed everywhere. You know, I've been to different places in the United States, not just Indiana and Texas, although Texas is number 2 for abuse, and it's huge. Indiana was way up there too, as far as numbers. And so I know that it's not something that's going away, unfortunately, but with all the other added advocacies, you know, sex trafficking and all that, that's all another added feature that I haven't even gotten into yet, because it'll probably be coming around. But so yeah, so that's really what I want to do. And it's all holistic driven. You know, everything's going to be, you know, based kind of, you know, around holistic health and wellness, because that's, you know, that's where I love to excel in and talk to people about. And so that's really where this advocacy is going. And the trade school, I'm looking at actually starting a grooming academy to teach people how to groom, and hopefully get women into that field where they can start learning a trade. And they could make money doing it, either as a business of their own, or they can, you know, go out and do it, you know, work for other people. So, these are the things I'm working on. I know they're big visions, because when God gives me a vision, he doesn't give me a small one. He gives me a big one. And I've got the 3 biggest advocacies out there that are huge. But you know what? It's awesome, because the people that I meet are just so phenomenal. And we're just all, we all need to work together to make it happen. That's really what this is all about. So I'm very grateful where my journey is right now. But this 5-year journey has been interesting. Excited about the book coming out, because it was a 3-month writing. This one was, instead of a 3-year writing. This one took off, and I did it in 3 months. And when it was done, I was like, oh, it's time to go to the editor already. Wow, I wasn't used to that. I was used to like, okay, it's not done yet. So I'm excited. This is a really good time in my life, and it's just getting better every single day. So I don't know what else, Jill, you want me to share. What's my time limit here?
Well, I think what I loved about what you're talking about is for all of us, we all have a vision of some sort, some of which may have nothing to do with our current businesses.
Right.
And I think it's inspirational for someone who started, in a fitness, health, dog grooming, and now, mixing all of those passions into something that's serving a higher purpose. I think that's so inspirational for all of us. How did you find the bravery to do it?
My faith, really. I mean, I had to just really, like people ask, coming here wasn't something, I knew God was preparing me, but when it happened, and it happened so quickly, I was like, wait a minute, hang on, did I say that I wanted to do this? I forgot, and I wanted to, turn back and not, but it was too late. It was like, it was already in motion. And I'd been down here multiple times in different places of Texas. And so I was familiar with Texas, but I wasn't familiar enough to say, hey, but I just had to leap and know that there were bigger things. And once I've been down here, it's just the things that have occurred. It couldn't have happened if I hadn't been here. The people I've met and just the things that have just transpired. It was just all it was meant to happen. And honestly, I always knew that I was probably going to be leaving Indiana at some point in my life. I even told my children that. I said, this will not be my final, I don't want to say the final resting place, because that sounds really morbid, and because that's just like, because maybe I'll be buried there, I don't know, but anyway, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. And I don't know, I just knew there was more. It was bigger. I knew that my life was always going to be bigger, and I just didn't know what it was, and I still don't. And I feel like this thing is even bigger than what I can even wrap my head around right now. And that's what makes it exciting, because, it's like, it's not ever going to be at the end of it. It's always going to be a journey. And that's what I tell people. Yeah. Just follow that journey, because the journey is what you need to be on. You don't need to worry about the end result. And I had a good friend tell me that years ago. Let go of the outcome. Because I was holding on to the outcome. I wanted to get over there so fast. And she would say, why are you trying? Just let go. I'm like, all right. And when I heard that, it was like, it's so much easier when I do that. When I start thinking, oh, the village, I need to get it built. I'm thinking, you're not even enjoying the journey. You're just wanting to get to the end result. And so that really changed my whole mindset of how I wanted to go. So I had to really kind of reprogram who I was and find out, how I work and what makes me tick and what are my gifts, and stick with it and not try to jump around and be something. Because I would have people say, well, you do this. No, that's not what I am. Yeah. And I tell people, I know I'm an author. I know that I'm going to birth more books, and I love writing. That's how I get my words out, because I'm, so I guess it was just, I had to just follow where that was leading me and just let go and say, it's time and you're ready. You're ready to do this.
Yeah. So. I talk a lot about in my messaging is about staying in faith, whatever that means for whoever. It might be a religious faith, or faith in yourself, or faith in your purpose, metaphysical faith, whatever. But I love that what you said was you let go and detached from the outcome and enjoyed the journey. And I think so many of us as entrepreneurs, even from a marketing perspective, I have many people who say, like you said earlier, I hate marketing. And when you hate it, it never works well, right? It's like, right, as an exercise, a person who exercises, if you hate running, then you will never run well. If you hate yoga, then you'll never do the positions well, right? And it's the same thing with marketing. And I think if we can enjoy the journey, including marketing, that our outcomes will be much more where we expect them to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, for me, being a writer, I love stories. And so for me, it was almost like, and I talk about this in my first book. My first book is Hello's My Friend. And it talks about, when you meet people, like the first thing you ask them is, hello, what is your name? And that's the first thing, then you go down the road from there. And that book was dedicated to my father, who was always meeting people. And he was like, he could have been like, considered like network marketing king. I mean, he could talk to people anywhere. I didn't care who it was and where they were. And I would just watch that and go, how in the world does he do that? So, it's funny because it was kind of the beginning of my interest in being an entrepreneur. I mean, it was like, I knew that, I didn't realize it until I started writing about it, but I look at it from this point. I always ask people, instead of like, what do you do? I said, what is your story? And when you ask people that, they look at you like, what? I go, yeah, who are you? I mean, what do what's your story? I know you're this and you have this business and all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy because down in Texas, that's what people want to know. They want to know your story. They put business on the back burner, and you'll talk business, but you'll talk about your journey and how you got there and who you are and how many kids you got. They want to know who you are. They seriously want a relationship with you. And that for me was the biggest aha. I was like, are you for real? Are you guys real? I mean, seriously, I'm not used to this. And it was a beautiful thing. It was it was like, my God, I could sit here and talk all day about stories. Let's just, how long you got,
Yarn. I could see that in Texas, right? I could see that with Texans.
Bring a pot of coffee over instead of a coffee.
Well, let me open it up to the group. Does anybody, I know this was not a content-driven presentation, but hopefully inspiring for you. Any questions or comments that you'd like to share with Tammy? Just feel free to unmute yourself. Go ahead, Margaret. And then Mary Beth.
So, Tammy, I appreciate your work in what I call interpersonal violence, and that's what the state of Florida has changed it from domestic violence.
Okay,
to interpersonal
I like that.
Violence. Because domestic indicates it happens in the home, and as we know, a lot of violence is everywhere. So I appreciate that work. I too work in that area as a volunteer. I facilitate a survivor group every Monday night in the Tampa Bay area, here in Clearwater rather, supporting the Haven of RCS. I'm also on the advisory committee as we get ready to do our Faces of Domestic Violence luncheon. So I appreciate that work and that you're doing, and that you're connecting with the people there. So being, October being that focus for domestic violence, there's a lot of work and connections I'm sure you can make there. So with your local organizations, and continue to get support for what you're doing. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mary Beth?
Yeah, I perked up when you said recovered anorexic bulimic, because I'm the recovered alcoholic and bulimic here. And, that is self-abuse, and that is pushing down a lot of parts of ourselves. At least that was for me, a way of controlling my behavior. Well, maybe not behaviors when you're drinking, I'm sorry to say. But, parts of myself that I didn't deem appropriate, like anger and self-worth and things like that. And, that's part of the journey. You don't get a hold of that stuff, you don't move forward. So yay. And bringing the dogs and the cats, the animals into it is so important. One of my stories is with my one little dog I had when I was drinking, and having to make amends around that. And I understand that women don't leave, and maybe it's men too, they don't leave relationships if they have to leave the animals behind, because they know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad that we're waking up to fact that you gotta consider the animals and this stuff. I gotta say, this is very timely. You know, the Me Too stuff and the things I'm reevaluating, things that happened to me as a young person, is just, you know, that's the price you pay for being a young female in this country. Just looking and saying, wow, that was more than that. You know, and so I think we're probably all evaluating. If we're watching the news, we're all evaluating what happened to us as young people and maybe even older. It's a good time to be doing what you do, because there's just so much awareness around.
Thanks. Exactly. The abuse side of things, it took me a long time. That's why the first book, it took me a long time to get out what I really had been covering up, what I tell people, you know, on the outside versus what was on the inside. Everybody would look at me as a fitness professional, and yeah, I had the muscles and I had all the physique and all that, but inside of me, I was a hot mess, and I didn't speak my truths, and that, you know, started affecting my health. I, you know, started having thyroid issues, and you know, I just kept pushing things down. And then once I started releasing that and being able to tell my truths and who I was and standing firm, because I'm like this warrior inside that needs to come out, and people kept, and that's why the second book is, you know, about being in a box, because people kept trying to put me in this box, and I kept trying to climb out. It's like a dog, a puppy. When you stick them in the box, one of them's going to try to climb out because they want to get out. And I was the one. I was like, you know, you quit trying to put me in this box. I'm trying to get out and tell the world I got news. I got good news to tell everybody. You know, everything's going to be okay. You know, we're all going to work together on this. You know, and I was always this, you know, positive, joyful person. But after a while, I became almost cynical at some point in my life, and didn't really want to talk to anybody. I would keep things to myself, and I still work on that. I still have to tell myself, Tammy, it's okay to speak out and to say it in a way that's loving and you know, make sure you know who your audience is. And I had to learn that. It was almost like I had to learn how to talk all over again. It was crazy. Because I would blurt things out, and people would say, did you just say that? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, you might want to tone that back a little bit. I'm like, why? And they go, because people aren't going to be able to take that. I'm like, I don't know what I just said, so I can't reel it back, you know, and so it was, you know, it was like starting over. It was like a baby and a kid that has to learn how to do things from the beginning, or someone that's had a stroke and has to learn again. It was just the craziest thing. And I'm still doing it. There's times that I look around and I see things for the first time, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And people are like, what? And I go, did you see that? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, that is the most amazing. And I'm having this moment over here, you know, and they're like, okay, you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm fine. This is just, wow, you know, and I'm having these wow moments, and nobody's getting it but me. And I'm like, I don't care, because I'm having fun over here. You know what I'm saying? You go over there and do your thing.
You're waving your freak flag around.
And the animals, yeah, and the animals just brought more. I mean, you know, I wasn't planning on having 3, and here comes little Tinkerbell, and she's like, oh my gosh. So it's just been the craziest journey. But you know what? It's been the most amazing one, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Even all the stuff I had to go through, I wouldn't change it, because I'll hear stories and people will tell me something, and I'll be like, okay, I don't get into the drama. I just say, okay, well, let's start from step 1. What are we going to do first? You know, because we got to do something.
All right. Are those 3 dogs?
Huh?
Are your 3 dogs? Or is there a cat mixed in there?
No, there's just 3 dogs.
Oh, 3
there's
dogs.
No cats, no. Even though I deal with cats, you know, when I have to go out and.
But I wanted to say, you know, I've been doing the inner work a long time, because I got sober in my mid-20s. But the marketing part is when I started finding my voice. And it's so interesting, because I didn't love marketing either. But once you get told by people like Jill 16,000 times, be authentic. Exactly. What do you need to say? I know Hannah knows that too. You are authentic. You are going to attract people. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to be. I don't want to be that loud laugh that people go, gee, wow, shut up. And, you know.
Isn't that cute?
Isn't that right? Cute? Right.
But you got to learn to love who you are. I mean, you got to really appreciate you are. You got to make yourself laugh. You know, you got to laugh at yourself, because, you know, I mean, that's just,
And
You know,
that's, I learned that in the marketing. I'm like, who knew marketing was a spiritual practice? Quite-
exactly, it is. You learn a lot about yourself in the marketplace. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
funny. Anything else for Tammy? Nope, we're good. All right. Well, Tammy, thank you so much for
Thank
inspiring
you,
us
Jill.
this
So good to
morning.
see you, and
Oh
I'm
my
glad that
gosh.
things are well with you and everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me. Yeah, I was excited. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Always
we're
ready to talk about, everything. But, women need hope. It's a passion. That's one of my biggest ones besides the other ones. But yeah, it's besides my
multi-passionate.
kids, my furry kids, and all the other things. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Do you have access to the chat box on your phone?
Let me see if I do. I was
Because
trying to find it.
if you do, type in your name and email for everybody. And then if you're welcome to type in your book title.
I see participants.
In chat.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Got it? Okay, yeah. If you
What do you
want
want
to
me
do
to
that.
put in there?
First and last name and email.
Okay.
And then if you want to put your website or your book title or whatever, for everybody.
There. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I will do that.
So while you do that, I'll move on to the next piece of the agenda. Thank you again, Tammy. That was awesome.
You're very welcome. You guys have a good day. I'm going to ring off as soon as I put all this in here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Nice seeing you guys.
Thank you. And make sure that we, when you get the chat box, you click through. And if you want to connect with Tammy, you'll have her email address. So now we'll move into the announcement portion of today's call. So this is where you get a chance to announce anything you're working on, a referral you're looking for. Feel free to use the chat box to put a URL or anything you want in there. So I'm going to start on the other end. So Mary Beth, I know you're muted, but do you have any announcements?
I just got, speaking of books, I just got this book. I know it's
Oh.
but I've got a chapter in this book. It's Shine, Stories to Inspire You, Dream Big, Fear Less, and Blaze Your Own Trail. And it's, I pulled this, of course you got to pull the tough stuff, about when my husband had a heart attack, and I started to raise my kids at 8 and 10 by ourselves, and what that was like. So anyway, that's my big thing. It's coming out. I think the big bash is October 10th.
Yeah, 10/10.
I just wanted to show it off.
It's worthy of showing off, and I had the pleasure of coaching all of the authors in Shine, and a great group of people. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I taught them a lot of stuff, and hopefully got them ready for their launch. It's a great book. It's published by Linda Joy. If you don't know who Linda is, Inspired Living Publishing, and she loves to collect women's stories to inspire us. So as it gets closer, I'm sure you'll have a URL. Maybe you can share that with us, Mary Beth. Debbie Keevan, who is in our group, was an editor of that book and also has a story. So we can make sure we can support them on release dates. They usually hit a bestseller list or two. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Mary Beth. Hannah, what announcements do you have?
I don't have any announcements today. I just wanted to, I picked up, I had to write it down, and it says marketing is a spiritual practice, is my takeaway from the presentation. And I think it's very accurate and very important when we are waiting for the big October thing in the celestial circle. And I tried to follow your advice yesterday of going Facebook Live, and it wasn't a great success. But what I said was that during yesterday, I worked against people who were actually on Svalbard, if you know where that is, almost on the North Pole.
Oh.
Yes, it's a Norwegian group of islands. Far. You have to look it up on the map. And I worked with people in Germany, and I just stopped and think, this is actually great. This is the virtual world that we live in. So I would very much like to have some US contacts as well.
You just want to make your way around the globe.
Yes, I would like to have some more in the US and everywhere else. So I just I'm very grateful if you can if you know anyone who wants to shape up their visual things, I'm there for them.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm going to plug your videos. She has, if you're not familiar with Hannah's Facebook page, which is What Your Brand Vision, right? Is that the title of it? Yeah. She does these delightful 5-minute design tip videos, and they're very well done and very clear and very understanding. And I learn a lot. And I think others who've watched it have learned a lot. So if you need a quick dose of design help, check out her videos and please share them as well. So
I will share them. I'm working on the next one right now, and it's going to be about doing your headshots for your website and marketing.
Oh, nice.
So I can recommend that one.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Please don't crop out usually it's the wedding photo, right? With the groom cropped out or something. I've seen that before. Or the bridesmaid video. I'm like, that's not appropriate. So good. All right, we'll look forward to that, Hannah. Thank you so much. Susan, what announcements do you have? Well, you're muted, first of all.
Okay, now I'll unmute so you can hear me. So first of all, I just really love coming into groups where it's all people kind of doing similar work together. I just think that is so fantastic and just such another like piece of evidence that the work we're doing in our own unique ways is so important in the world. So I just want to say I appreciate that. So kind of along those lines, I guess, my announcement is I'm taking place in the Self-Confidence Masterclass. I'm going to type it in here. It's a long name. So it's basically, it's called the Self-Confidence Masterclass Series, How to Kick Self-Doubt in the Ass and Reclaim Your Power so you can live your best life. So, I think that's along the lines with all the work we're doing here, but it's one of those really serendipitous events where Jen Ruparian, who's a soul alignment coach, found me on Instagram and asked me to participate. So I didn't know her before I said yes to this masterclass, and it's just really incredible women. She and I have kind of become friends since that.
That's
and
cool.
It's more of this just like convergence of all these awesome women doing the same work, and I just absolutely love it. So this masterclass is starting on Monday. There's 4 women talking. It's kind of like this is a very casual, just kind of interview format. So if there's anybody you want to share that with, the link is through Jen's site, and it's just really cool. So it's starting on Monday. I want it to be hugely successful for her because she did a lot of work pulling it together, and it was fun to participate in it. So that's kind of my announcement, what's going on. And then my part of it is an offer for my VIP session for people who are interested.
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
the thing coming up. And I registered for it because I want to hear what these other women she gathered have to say too.
Yeah, make some good connections too, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And you can always see Susan over at the other virtual networkers group, which meets Mondays at noon Eastern.
Although I'm not there for the next 5 weeks because I forgot to block my calendar, and I which is great, who took noon Mondays as her coaching time.
Oh dear.
So
What can you do?
Oh,
You'll
well.
be there in spirit.
Yeah.
You guys come see us if you're feeling need a fix.
Over to the other group. And I'm going to be in Tampa the week after Thanksgiving. Well, not Tampa, I'm in St. Pete. But if there's anything, live happening, I would love to come out and meet people face to face.
Yeah, well, there's always keep it local meetings for sure. So as the date gets closer, we can connect, or we can connect with Laura. And Margaret lives in the area. There's tons of things going on.
There's so many messages sending me to Tampa as my husband and I look for where we want to go to the beach.
Oh, interesting.
Tampa, St.
Oh.
Pete.
Clearwater Beach.
I've
Clearwater
heard it's
Beach.
beautiful. We've never made it past the Clearwater Aquarium because I'm madly in love with winter. And so we always stop there. We're like, we're going to go visit Clearwater. We're told it's beautiful. And then we go to the aquarium, and then 5 hours later, we're going back home.
Yeah.
You spent 5 hours at the aquarium? That's so fun. You did see winter, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
we
Everybody know who Winter is? Winter is the dolphin with a prosthetic fin. There was a big movie about it. I forget what
The dolphin's tail.
the dolphin's tail had.
The dolphin tail.
Harry
is-
Connick Jr. Anyway,
Based on a true story.
yeah,
And
it's based on our
Winter-
resident dolphin who had
Yeah.
to learn how to swim with the little fake tail, fake fin on. Was it fin or tail?
Tail.
Tail.
Dolphin.
Yes.
The tail.
Yeah, the fake tail. So anyway, it's one of our local celebrities. The
Sorry,
dolphin.
Mary Beth, you will love it. Go rent Dolphin's Tail right now.
It's adorable. Have you seen it, Mary Beth? Oh my
Oh, I
gosh!
love it.
Yeah, you guys see it.
Delightful.
As an animal lover, you'll love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
And it's living in the area. It's funny to see some of that, how they put the whole thing together and
Yeah.
as if it, where the kid's riding his bicycle is not close.
Nowhere near the aquarium.
Yeah, and that's like DC. I watch these DC shows, and people are going like, "Oh, we're in DC, and now we're in Norfolk." I'm like, "Okay, that's like a 4-hour drive." But whatever. So, willing suspension.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's all right. Still a good tale. So awesome. Well, keep us posted, Susan. We'll welcome you with open arms here in Tampa Bay. Margaret, what's your announcement for today?
Okay. One other thing, Susan, when you're here, you have to come to Delightful Dunedin.
Agreed.
We have fabulous restaurants, pubs, craft beer, all kinds of activities going on, and there's always something happening downtown. So
I seriously wanted to, like, I'm not joking. My husband and I have been looking for the place we're moving for a long time, and we've kind of
let's connect when you're here.
in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, it's right by the water.
We're staying in Treasure. Well, we're going to be there for 10 days, but the week
Okay,
before Thanksgiving is family stuff. Anyway, yeah. So
let's stay connected. So yeah, good.
Awesome. That's
So
great.
my announcement, I really would like for anyone in the Tampa Bay area and to support our Faces of Domestic Violence luncheon that's coming up on October 16th. And by making, and I know you're not all of you are not in the Tampa Bay area, but I would encourage you to support the organizations in your area that provide services for survivors of domestic violence, interpersonal violence. And sometimes those are not just the physical violence, as Tammy was talking about earlier. There are a lot of people that it starts out with verbal or emotional abuse, and then finally sometimes then gets to the physical. And just this week we've had a Hillsborough County deputy who lived in Pasco County, and Jill knows about this too, who killed his wife and himself with 4 children in the house. And these are the stories, and this is the work we have to do in prevention as much as possible and intervention as much as possible. So do what you can to support your local organization.
That's a great reminder. Thank you for that. Yes, that was a very sad story.
Yeah,
And
and I'm
close to home.
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. For me, from a Keep It Local perspective, reminders that every other Monday, so this Monday coming up, Sheila Neisler, who is our Chief Marketing Officer, does a goal setting workshop. I know it's early for some of you, but 7:15 a.m. Eastern. If you're a member, which everyone here is a benefit that you're welcome to participate in. Just go to the Keep It Local page and look under the events tab, and you'll see it's there Mondays at 7:15 to 7:45. She keeps it very short, very succinct. I did participate. Margaret, you were there too, am I right? Yeah. I follow Margaret around the internet all the time, and she follows me, or we follow each other anyway. But it was very helpful. She was just kicking it off, so not too late for us to join if you need a little goal setting on a Monday. So just a reminder about that. Also a reminder, I do need speakers for October. I've got a couple of people interested. Judy Fritz set me up with somebody, so I'm still securing dates. But if you're interested in speaking, Susan, you're welcome to come back and do your speech. Margaret, you got something? Okay, I'll connect with you too. Would love to, if you have something else you have in your wheelhouse, because, like Mary Beth, you did your talk so long ago, so it might be time to dust it off for new members. So anyway, if you are interested, October, November, December, we won't meet during the holiday weeks, so Thanksgiving week, Christmas, New Year's, that type of thing, but the rest of those Fridays, I would be delighted to have you as a speaker. Or if you know someone, like Judy recommended somebody, So did last week's speaker, came from a recommendation. I love for little gems like that. It's just people we wouldn't meet otherwise. So let me know about that. And there is also an annual member meeting. Of course, it's in Florida. So Margaret, yes, it's Friday, November 2nd, starting at 9:30 a.m. It's in Trinity. However, I'm going to ask Laura if there's a way for us to set up a Facebook Live in the Facebook group, so that if you're interested in watching even the replay, I'll be there, so I can tell you, if you want to catch it later or whatever. But I'm going to check with Laura on that. So if you're interested, that would be, I probably will not have because of the timing, I probably won't have a meeting for us that day because I'll have to be over there. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that is coming down the pike. So now I'll switch gears to Jill Celeste, many hats. Today is solely focused on a Celestial Circle marketing. So for those of you who are in the Celestial Circle, you're going to see a lot of stuff. Kicking off the Abundance Challenge on October 1st. This is where we will be working together on boosting our abundance mindset, making us feel more abundant no matter how much money is in our checking account or in our wallet. There are times I know when we feel things are scarce, and when I'm a law of attraction person, so that vibration is like going like that. That doesn't help you with your marketing. So I created a task list. Have you ladies looked at it yet? Those of you in the Celestial Circle? Oh, well, Hannah, you got to print that sucker out. Definitely print it out. I almost mailed it out to you, but we're going to do some fun activities, things like leaving dollars around town or keeping a $100 bill in your wallet, eating off fine china. I mean, just fun things you can choose from to really, it's going to be fun. Boost your abundance. So I have already typed in the link, taking a page from Susan's book. If we're getting that already typed in. So if you know anybody who might be interested, the web address is there. They can learn all about it. And the Celestial Circle is $59 a month. So it's very affordable. So that's that scoop. So anything else for the good of the order before we conclude for today? No. Keep Laura Shipman in your thoughts. Laura's the founder of Keep It Local. Her daughter is on the homecoming court as a senior today, and I am instinctively thinking she's going to get a crown tonight. I just have a feeling. So, but she's super proud of her daughter. Her daughter's really a dynamite. She goes to the same high school as my kids.
And my granddaughter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my granddaughter, Taylor Strupp, is there. She's going to homecoming. We were just talking about that over the weekend. So.
What grade is Taylor in?
She's 10th.
10th grade. Mine's 11th grade. So we have a little sandwich going there. That's fun. Yeah. My son's not going. That would require him to bathe and shave. So. He's a football player, so he'll be at the game, but that's the extent of Joe's homecoming activity. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great Friday. Susan, thank you again for stopping by. Please come by anytime. It was delightful to see you with Fiona. And everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you online. Bye.
Bye. Bye.